Thank you, Conrad, for the introduction. Let me start with a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today. First, we want to talk to you about the benefits of SAP Fiori elements and what are the different type of application you can build with it. Then Klaus will show us a demo of one of the type of the applications, which is the overview page application. Then we'll talk to you about how you can create the Fiori element applications using SAP Fiori tools. Klaus will do a demo of how to use the tools, and then we'll do a wrap up. The SAP Fiori guidelines have been evolving over the past few years, and with each iteration, new concepts have been introduced. When you create a new application, you always use the latest guidelines. However, the challenge is, how do you keep up with the changes, and what do you do with your existing applications? Do you update them as time goes? That requires quite a bit of development time. So if you don't want to do that, I think you may be wanting to take a look at Fiori elements. Fiori elements provide you standard page plans, so you can easily create an application and reduce the maintenance costs. Because the applications are generated, you out of the box get uniform layout applications with standard functionality such as the filtering and the search. When you create a Fiori element application, you're essentially delivering an SAP UI5 application. So out of the box, you get a stable and optimized application, and it follows the best practices. Fiori elements was designed with the goal to scale development. So it takes a metadata-driven approach to build applications. When you create the Fiori element application, you need an Odata service. An Odata service is a standardized technology to interact with the data on the server. It provides a layer of abstraction from the UI stack that consumes such a service. With the Odata service tailored for a specific page type, you can generate an application with the latest Fiori guidelines very fast. There are 5 different templates for Fiori Elements Odata V2. What we have learned from the S4 is that this 5 different templates covers around 80% of the scenarios for a typical business application. Today, we're going to show you 3 of the most popular templates. Let's turn over to Klaus, who is going to show us the OVP page.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. I'm sharing my screen right now, and what you can see here is an overview page from SAP Fiori Elements. And an overview page shows sort of a dashboard around a topic. And in our case, we put ourselves into the position that we are a company selling shoes. We have different shoe models, and we did also analysis. We have some analytical data. So over here, what we see is kind of the different runner groups in my store area. Then we have the top inventory of the shoes. We have the service requests from customers and quick links. But what is missing and what I would like to add is another card.
Sorry, I don't think we see your screen in Zoom. You could share your screen.
I had a border around it. I tried again. Can you see it now? Sorry about that.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now the border is green, and that seems to indicate that it works. Okay. Again, here what you see is the overview page showing different cards of our shoe business. And what is missing here is a card that shows my top selling shoes, and I would like to add this card in a short demo. So I open up my development environment in here, and I can see here the application. It is already running. It's down here. So it is in a sort of a watch mode that we provide with our tools. And if I change something here, it will automatically update the page. So I can also show here what I have here installed are so-called extensions that we provide. You can install a bundle and you get all of these SAP Fiori tools extensions, and they help you throughout the development cycle of SAP Fiori Elements applications. What I would like to show first is when we started the whole SAP Fiori tools project, we did a user research, and it came out that because SAP Fiori Elements is a configuration-based framework, and there are different areas where you can do configurations, not everyone knew exactly where to put what to achieve a certain feature. So we came up with an extension which is called Guided Development. And if I start this extension, I can see a bunch of different what we call guides. And those guides help you to achieve a certain thing. And in our case, I would like to add a card. So I punch in the search card, and I see for the overview page, what I'm currently working on, there are a couple of things that I can do. And I would like to show you how to add an analytical card. So if I open this guide, I see a short description about the card and also a small preview what it is. And most important, I have this template-based approach to fill out, which will then create me the configuration that is required to add the card. So over here, I need to check or choose a model, and we have only one model, so it's pre-selected. I need to choose an entity from this model, and I'm going to go for shoe sales. I need to enter a card ID, and in our case, this will be top selling shoes. Also, the title will be top selling shoes. And as a subtitle, I know that the analytical data that I get will be ordered by runner group. So I give a subtitle by runner group. It also asks me to select annotations that have been done on the service. And if I open the drop-down, I can see there is a UI presentation variant called, or has the qualifier shoes by runners, and I put that one in there. Also, I need a chart annotation, select this one. And this here, you can see the preview, it automatically generated me the piece of configuration that is required. I could now copy it and paste it, but where do I paste it? Luckily, there is also an apply button. And if I click it, it will automatically open up the relevant file. So in here, that's the overview page JSON file. You can see it in our tree of configuration files. And it will insert me the card, what I just created, the top selling shoes. So if I save that now, I mentioned we are in this watch mode, and I change back, it will auto refresh the page, and I should be able to see the card. If it doesn't auto refresh, I force refresh. Do I have? Something went wrong, or it's still loading. Sorry about that. Perhaps the Zoom is too much for my internet connection. I can see now there is an additional card here, the top selling shoes. I can click on it, but that doesn't make too much sense for me right now. What I really would like to have is, if I click on the card, then I get a list of the product, the shoes that I sell. But this is done in the next demo. I'm gonna get back to Ashley.
Thank you, Klaus, for the demo. Let's move my slide. So Klaus actually gave you a sneak preview on how to use the tools. let's talk about the driving force behind the tools. The Fiori tools are designed to maximize the benefit of Fiori element applications. It gives you a quick way to generate the app using an Odata service. Because Fiori element is a metadata-driven application, Fiori tools try to enhance that and enforce that using the modeling capabilities. Klaus also show you the guided development, because many of our customers told us that it has been very challenging to read all the documentations. So the guided development helps to guide you through the step easily. I'll show you the overview application in Visual Studio Code. The tools are also available in SAP Business Application Studio. It's great for those of you who prefers a centrally administered environment that it's pre-configured for you. You simply log on and the tools are right there for you to use. For those of you who like to configure your development environment locally, you can choose Visual Studio Code. The tools are designed to take you from the beginning of a development cycle to the end. At the start, we have the requirement gathering, which allows you to collect requirements and validate that they can be achieved using Fiori element applications. Like I was saying, a critical part of the metadata-driven application is the modeling capabilities. So this diagram shows you the general progression of the life cycle of the application development. And we also understand that in reality, you may need to go back and forth in the process. So it's very important for the tools to be flexible and complement each other. The tools are very much focused on the modeling capabilities. The service modeler helps you understand the Odata service and the predefined annotations. Application modeler helps you understand and configure the application structure, while the annotation LSP helps you quickly maintain the annotation you need for your project. Guided development is at the center of all this to help you through all the steps. Now over to Klaus, who is going to show us how to use the tools.
Okay. So this is where we left off. We added this new card for showing the top selling shoes. And now we would like to add an application to go a little bit deeper into the product shoes and see some details. So I'm going to clean up here a little bit. I'm going to show you a next extension that we provide. It's the generator for your elements applications. So I punch in here application generator and I launch it. So it's based on the UI, the Yeoman framework, but we build a UI on top of it and provided our templates. So I choose here a Fiori elements application and I go for a list report. So it will ask me for some questions. I like to connect to an existing Odata service. I put an Odata URL. It runs currently localhost on the localhost. And I would give the application a name. I call it shoe product list. Title is shoes. The namespace is shoes.list. And over here, shoes list. Okay, I'm going to hit next and the application will be generated for me. If I want some details, I can check here the output of this Yeoman generator. So it installs the dependencies, the node modules, created me already the package JSON. I can see here and here I see something's going on. And after a short while, you should then see the final project. Files are already there. Configurations are written. It asks me what to do with it. I don't need to do anything right now. It's already here in my workspace. I can see this shoes product list. And the next thing I would like to do, I'm gonna go into this directory and I do an npm start, which itself calls the UI5 serve, what you can see here, also with the YAML file that we learned about in previous sessions. And it shows up this product list application. So that's like magic. Everything is already there. It is amazing, but it's not magic. The trick behind this is the Odata service and the annotations. So the annotations are kind of labels for the data, and they tell us meaning the UI framework, what to display here, what to display as columns here in the list here. How to navigate even further to a certain product, give the product that is the object page, what you see right now, that has details about one shoe. So in this case, it's the fast pace street shoe, what you can clearly see. And and I did this without any line of code. So the UI framework was able to generate this complete application with all the navigation, all the things that I can do just out of the Odata service, plus the annotations and plus some settings that are already done. And now I want to show you how to change some of these things. So what I said is the columns that are showed here in this table are defined by annotations. And the annotations came from the backend, from the service, together with the service. But somehow the implementer of the service did show the main category, but not the product category. And this is what I would like to add now. So I can go back to my IDE. I will start another extension that we provide, the service modeler. It will ask me for which project, because I have now two in my workspace. So I choose the product list. And I can see here, I have this Broadband service and a lot of projections on it. And then now I'm looking for the product type, because in the product type, there will be also a definition for the list that I'm showing. And the list is shown by an annotation, which is called UI line item. And if I click that, I can see these are the data fields, the columns of the list, but I cannot change it. They come from the backend. So what I would need to do is first, I would create a local copy of this annotation part to my project. And then I can click here to navigate to it. So this file mainly was empty before. It just contained some references, but now we added a copy of the line item annotation from the backend, which allows us to change it locally, and that is then be picked up by the application. So in my case, I would like to add here a record, so I can use value suggest that is also provided by an extension that we provide. And I would like to add the record data field. And as the path, I enter here the product category. Sorry, here product category. And if I save now, switch quickly back to my application, it refreshes here. I can already see here there's a new field category. And if I show the list of products, I now see the product category for each line. If I click now on one of the shoes, I see the details and some reviews. In the review section, I see just a list of all the reviews. And if I want to have some more details about one specific review, I would like to add another page to it. So back in the IDE, I now want to add a page. So if I just give it a try and search for page, I see there is a tool called Show Page Map. So let's see what that is. And I want to do it for our product list page. And here I can see abstract overview on the application. So the first page is the list report. And the second one was the object page with details about one shoe. And I would like to add a third one that displays me the details about one review post. So I add here a navigation to the collaborative review post. and it's already saved. Going back to the application, I can see here there's a small arrow being added, and if I click on this, I get the details of this one review. So for example, now I can also click on the contact and I get contact details, and also of course I can navigate back. Okay, as a last step, I would like to include the navigation from this piece into our shoes product application. So to do that, I would need to add something. I go back to our initial overview application. In the overview application, I know in order to be able to navigate, I need an annotation. And somehow this is not there from the backend, so I would need to add the annotation by myself. And here the target will be the shoe sales type. And I know I would need to have a UI identification annotation for that. And in here, I have this data field for intent-based navigation. So I would like to express the wish for a navigation based on an object and an action. So in our case, the object will be shoes. And the action we're going to do with it is display. Display. So I save that back to my application. Something changed. I can click it, but I have not specified who is listening to the shoes object. So if I click that, nothing happens. There is one last step that I need to do. In our local service, in our test, I will find the HTML page that is relevant to show the card, this OVP display. And here I would like to add a second one. In our case, the shoes, shoe list. And I'm going to copy and paste that to be a little bit quicker. That should be that one slightly. I save it, refresh, and if I click now on the header, it will bring me to this application with the shoe list, and I can see our beautiful shoe products. Nice model is the high above. Or what else do we have? Try-run. It's also a nice model to watch at. Okay, that concludes my demo. Perhaps small information. What we used is the amazing capabilities from the UI5 tooling. So we use here a YAML file and a middleware. And for the normal setup to show one application using UI5 Serve, everything is set up. But in our case right now, in this example, what I did is I had added a second page, here the shoe list. And in order to be able to serve once and show two applications, I had to add a small middleware, which is available, which is this one. That is the serve static, which serves me then the application itself. And in order to achieve the communication to the Odata service, I also had to write a small own middleware, which was not an issue at all, because as you can see here, that's all it takes to have a very flexible routing based on the URL. Okay, just in time. I think I back to Ashley.
Thank you, Klaus, for the demo. I like the shoes. With the overview application, Klaus showed us a full stack developer can fully define all the annotation he needs in the backend. Then using the Fiori tools, he simply add the card using guided development in just a few minutes. With this report object page, Klaus showed us a developer can take advantage of all the features in Fiori tools, such as the graphical annotation view, to create the annotations in the front end. It's really up to you to decide what's the best environment to do the development. We have just made the tools generally available in both Visual Studio Code and App Studio a few weeks ago, and there are still many more features that we want to bring to you. The tools currently support deployment to ABAP environments. So the next thing that we are working on is to export the service and deploy to Cloud Foundry. We are also working on the annotation LSV for CAP-CDS, which is critical for developing Fiori element applications for Odata V4, which will start the beta testing in August. So after this call, I would like to, to remember 3 things that, Fiori elements and Fiori tools help you to create applications very easily. Out of the box, you get UX consistency, and 80% of the scenarios that you want to build should be covered with the Fiori elements. If you are interested to learn more, I have provided the documentation here. We're now going to look at it in details, and so that we have a little bit of time for Q&A. Back to you, Conrad.
Hey, thanks, guys. So real quick, since we have 1 minute left, I guess I will get the highest rated question for you here. And that highest rated question is, how does licensing work for SAP Fiori tools, i.e. the use of Business Studio and SAP Cloud Platform and Visual Studio Code locally?
For Visual Studio Code, actually, if you go to Visual Studio Code Marketplace, you'll be able to find the SAP Fiori tools there. They are freely available for download and the SAP developer license. For App Studio, you can sign up for the trial account, and the actual pricing information, I think you need to get in touch with the App Studio team